council meetings are long and boring. Wouldn't it be great if they were short and unboring? This is why I have invented the 5 10-minute meeting. Online, because I know you're going to watch this online again, right? After you've seen it live. You got to watch it while you're watching it online. Graphics and stuff's going to be great. Hey, Jim Volkstein here with the Ashland City Council meeting, December 5th. Starts off with the mayor, and she goes, hey, no posters in the audience. I see posters. No posters. If you like something, you can wave like this. That's it. That's it. Yeah, well, by the way, the Ukrainian Sister City benefit is Saturday, and also the Peace Proclamation. And so she said recent anti-Semitism and Islamophobia acts are terrible. And basically she said that she just said, check yourself before you wreck yourself. That was my cool paraphrasing of what she said. She was actually had made a condescending, well-meaning sermon about how to behave. And I think we can just call that Ashlanding from now on. Ashlanding, verb, a condescending, well-meaning sermon about how to behave. And then the city manager's report, the beautification grants for businesses are open. That should save the city. And then a public forum, a woman in a knitted lei said, I gather food for the food bank. And I am electrosensitive. That's a 5G person. And just being here makes me funny. And cell towers can burst into flames. And honestly, she wasn't that funny. And then there's a guy in a vest, and he said, I've been an electrician for 27 years. I used to think 5G was BS, but now I totally think it's bad, and cell phone towers can't catch on fire. For sure. And then a plaid shirt guy said, the Ukrainian Hortuks, that city organizer said, this Saturday's show is coming, and we bought a glass cutter for the city Hortuks, and they can now cut new windows with it. Okay. And then the consent agenda came along, and everyone's liquor license was approved. And then the parking city ordinance amendments, and the king of the planning department, Brandon Goldman, he looks like this. He goes, hey, many of these amendments are required by the state from their climate and land commissions. And then Derek, no picture Derek, he comes up and says, this requires more bike parking and electric vehicle hookups for multi-family buildings. And the city can no longer require any number of parking spots for new buildings. And then Brandon Goldman comes up and says, in addition to state rules, Ashland has some specific variances and exceptions, and they were actually very ticky-tacky technical stuff. I'm not going to bore you with that. And then public forum, a puffy vest guy showed up and said, I have a very specific concern about requiring on-street parking, but I have no answers or solutions. And then this guy goes, hey, when can we get rental units to start charging separate apartment rent from parking rent? And then Brandon Goldman goes, we need a new ordinance to do that and run it through the committees and public comments. So no time soon. He goes, I approve this parking amendment, and I look forward to charging renters extra for parking spots to punish them for owning cars. All approved. And then the prohibited camping ordinance. This was the big thing. There's a full house for this one. This one says, she goes, hey, the reason we made this ordinance is because we care about the homeless. And then old city attorney Doug McGeary, he's still here for some reason. He says, we added to the existing ordinance, and this guy goes, whoa, let's talk about that first sentence for a long time. This says we split up the involuntary homeless from the voluntary homeless. Who's the voluntary homeless? This is true. And then this guy goes, here we go. Even for Ashland City Council meeting, he unleashed 5 minutes of next-level, incomprehensible nonsense. Such an epic word salad of gibberish that when he finished, half of the audience burst into spontaneous laughter. True. And Mother Superior Mayor says, no, I forbid you to laugh at the obviously absurd. I forbid it. And so he gets to go back to work talking, and Doug McGeary says, he goes, hey, so for another 10 minutes of jibber jabber, he says, he defined terms like designated space, unhoused, established campsite, involuntary homeless. But at every turn, old Doug McGeary made sure that everything didn't make sense. And then, but there were some specifics that I got from it. Okay, so apparently, city manager Sabrina Cata, that's what she looks like. Oh, that's what I think she looks like. Then she goes, she has the authority to add rules to this at any time. Well, yeah. So that's what he said. So then, and she also, the removal of property, that's taking tents and stuff from the homeless. the city manager, that's in charge of storing the property, and the city must hold on to it so that person can come back and get it for 15 or 30 days, depending on whatever it is. And you can't stay in one spot for more than 2 hours. So, hope your picnics don't last too long. You get out. And then this map. Oh, this map came up. And he goes, I like this map. He goes, this map shows there's special colored areas there. And then near schools and playgrounds and rivers and stuff where you cannot be a camper. However, in the other places, we'll call them the white places, you can also not be a camper. So, I know, it's really unclear. So I made a couple of calls, and basically, here's what I found out, I think. So the colored parts on the map, no camping at all for any reason. So instant cops come up, boom. Anytime you roll out your sleeping bag, you're out. And the white parts that are there, as long as there's a space for camping behind the police station, there's a lawn back there now where you can put your tent if you're camping. As long as there's a space back there, and they go, hey, you've got to move over to behind the police station, and if you say no, boom, you're out. Unless you have an established camp. So then you have either 3 or 5 days to move. And an established camp is a very specific definition, but basically, if you've been there more than a day before the cops found you, and you have like a blue tarp up and a shopping basket full of bike parts, I think that's what that means. However, if there is no space on the lawn behind the police station, you can camp these white areas forever. I think that was the deal. And then the police chief, Taomira, he looks like this right here. Adorable. Adorable. He came up and he said, hey, we're working on putting a new mini police station in the strip mall near the Albertsons. So is Ashland getting their own mall cop? Is his nickname going to be Paul Blart? Yes and yes. And then this guy goes, this counselor guy goes, hey, chief, hey, oh yeah. He goes, hey, is there anything missing in this ordinance? Chief goes, nope, it's all good for me. And then the mayor goes, hey, chief, is involuntary or voluntary homelessness something you will enforce? And the chief goes, no, that's nothing we ask about, and we're not going to ever bring. That's not part of the thing we ever bring up. And then the public forum. Oh, this is what it's all about, people. Public forum. There are 85 people in public forum. Most of them furious. So it started off with the lady reverend. She had a whole collar and everything. She said, this is cruel and dehumanizing. Only good homeless people are deserving of help. And then the lady with the hairpin said, I know a homeless lady with $1,000 in fines. Many people are living in cars. And a lady in a sweater said, homelessness isn't a problem. Housing's the problem. Medford's camper ban is deadly. And then a white guy with dreadlocks said, why are the houseless criminalized and run out of town? And then two gray-haired pigtail ladies, she says, the night lawn isn't reasonable. It's unsafe and filled with rats. And then another baseball cap guy says, what did he say? Baseball cap guy, man, there's so many people. This is not a solution to homelessness. Sleep is necessary. And then old city councilor, with a new beard, old man Slattery came up and he said, even the legal team has uncertainty about this plan. It's not ready for prime time. And a brown cap guy said, the most vulnerable population, children. The Clay State Park isn't safe for my kids. And then a blue cap lady said, this feels judgmental. The new shelter is working. We can do better. That was a mixed message there. And then glasses on her head lady from South Ashland said, I am asking for approval for this ordinance. And then, stuff went down. Mother Superior jumped up and said, I'll pull this meeting over right now. The hand waving thing to support a speaker. There's no other hand gestures. So let me tell you how to behave. You are only allowed to agree with people. So some more Ashlanding, and then back to the lady with glasses on her head. She goes, well, I assume everybody was doing something super mean behind me, and that's the kind of behavior I'm talking about. And I was there, and then she booked it because she was a little spooked, the whole thing. And I was there. I didn't see like the negative hand thing, and it was probably one guy by the door who was a little nutty. But Mother Superior turned it into a Spanish Inquisition and unnecessarily freaked out that poor speaker lady. And then a girl with the green hair said, I wish I had housing options. And then this one goes, okay, we're running out of time. Well, what's everyone's sense on the ordinance? And then this guy goes, here's how it plays out. Who is pro-ordinance? This guy goes, delay this ordinance, delay it. And this one goes, honestly, I don't know. And then this guy goes, delay it, the approach is wrong. And then And then this guy goes, pass it, 100%. And this guy goes, pass it, 100%. And then this one goes, this one says, oh no. She goes, I believe there is important, blah, 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 as she does. And then she goes, no, we're running out of time. And she goes, oh no, you are not cutting me off. You are not putting baby in a corner. I will, blah, blah, blah. And then she said, I would approve this first reading if we all agree to send it to the Housing and Human Services Committee before the second reading. So actually, the blah, blah, blah was pretty good that time. And then someone goes, hey, I move to approve then. And that passed 4-2. The 2 against it were these 2 are like, no way. And the other 4 were all for it. But then, so then she goes, oh, back to that. I moved that ordinance, goes to the Housing and Human Services Committee for suggested amendments, and then be brought back for second reading. And then everyone was 100% on board with that. And then the wastewater membranes were purchased by good old Scott Fleury. He goes, hey, want to spend $1.5 million on screens for the water treatment plant? We've been saving for 8 years for them, so we got the money. So everyone's like, oh, he saved the money. That's all approved. And then he goes, hey, right-of-way aprons. Let's give them back to these 2 houses in town. And everyone goes, yeah, we don't care about that. Sure, do that. That was it. That was the end of the meeting. You are welcome. Woo!